Hey there, fellow city builders, Kodiak the Kodiak here, and I have some thrilling news to share with all of you City Skylines fans. The developers of City Skylines 2 have just released their latest developer insight all about city services, and let me tell you, it's amazing. In this action-packed video, we'll be diving deep into the world of city services, exploring how they provide essential services to our citizens and keep our cities running like clockwork. But that's not all. We'll be taking an exclusive first look at the abundance of city resources available, from concrete to textiles, and uncovering their crucial role in building a thriving metropolis. But wait, there's more. The developers have also introduced not one, not two, but 3 different universities to educate our citizens and propel our cities into the future. Get ready to explore universities, tech schools, and medical universities, each offering unique opportunities to benefit our cities. Before we dive into all the details, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future updates. And of course, leave a comment down below sharing your thoughts and ideas on all the new city services and tools in City Skylines 2. Alright, my fellow urban visionaries, it's time to roll up our sleeves and explore the exciting world of city services and the new resources in City Skylines 2. Get ready to plan, build, and watch our cities flourish like never before. Okay, before we get started, I just want to let you guys know I get chronic migraines, have one today. If you see me making funny faces, I'm wincing in pain. They come and go. Let's get started.
And today we're going to talk about city services. Okay, I guess I can just go blah 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 something. Yeah, blah blah blah. In
Blah, blah,
general, the city services
Is that like plop, but different?
are overhauled for City Skylines 2. This time you don't need to place so many separate.
One thing I've noticed about all of these videos is that the cinematics look really good. Like all of the, I guess the drone-esque shots around the city look fantastic. So I'm kind of wondering what the actual camera is going to work like in City Skylines 2. Will we have like a built-in cinematic camera that's a bit more customizable? Like, what is it, Acme mod? I can't remember the name of the camera mod that we use in cities for cinematic shots, but Cities 1. I wonder if it's gonna be like that, or if these are just like default ones, kind of like how I think you can put it in cinematic mode, right, in the base game, and it'll automatically do like flyover shots. I wonder if it's like that, or if it's like Acme where you can set a start point and an end point and do these really cool sloping cinematic shots, or if they're doing this with like a controller and a joystick or whatever and flying around in the like no HUD mode. I'm really curious to find out, as a matter of fact, because obviously as somebody who makes City Skylines content, I'm starting my first actually build series on the channel, so make sure you guys are subscribed for that. I'm very excited. That should come out this Saturday. If not, it'll come out Sunday, just so I can get it done in time, but they'll come out on Saturdays from now on. And working with that mod, we can get some really nice cinematic shots, and I wonder if they're going to include something like that in the game for those of us who want to kind of highlight and show off our cities to people.
Service buildings to cover your city because of the better pathfinding as well as the new city service.
Okay, so this is Incineration Plant. As usual, I've already watched this. I've actually watched it over twice because I wanted to watch it over the first time just to get a look at it, and then the second time I really went through and I tried to go through frame by frame so we can stop at very specific points, make it a little bit more efficient and better. But as we can see here, Incineration Plant is right here, collects and burns garbage, turning it into energy. This reduces garbage accumulation, but produces some air pollution. Can be upgraded with a garbage truck depot and extra incinerator and extra storage. Now, they actually have better efficiency as well, so their processing speed's a little bit more than what they can make. So we're kind of like learning about how efficiency works when you place buildings of the same type. It kind of excels that and puts it over the 100% amount. So here we go. That's where that's coming from. And then we have the electricity production. So it's producing 5.75 megawatts. Now, I don't know how much power that is in real life. But what I do know is that's not that much in Cities 1, but I don't know what that was in comparison to the Cities 1 vanilla incineration plant. But we have that much being produced, and it's all being used as well. And then we can also see here, take note of the ground pollution and air pollution, and as they place the expansion wing here.
Service.
So this is the extra incinerator furnace, provides an increase in the waste burning and and energy production capacity. So it cost $500,000. There's the upkeep. There's how much more electricity is being produced. So it's 2.5 megawatts, low and high voltage. So I wonder if, because it says low and high voltage, and we've learned previously that electricity, you now also have to put a transformer box to like down it from high voltage to low voltage so people can actually use it in their homes. I wonder if you can just send a low voltage line straight from this then, if it says low and high voltage. Pretty interesting, something to think about as we learn more about this. But as we can see, it says ground pollution medium, air pollution medium, and as we'll see after I press play, this will go up to 3 stars. Well, I guess they're not really stars, but you know, for all of those categories.
Upgrades.
There we go. But we can also see the processing speed changed from 46 to 65. So my assumption is that if you let that play for a few seconds, that'll just go all the way above 65 because they're at 115% efficiency. Maybe once they get the maximum amount of employees for it, I'm not too sure. But
all city services in the game.
Right here we have the medical clinic. This is the expansion wing or extension wing that they're going to put on. It's going to appear right here on the right.
Upgrade.
And the way these work is that there's 3 different types of upgrades. This is just a reminder for those of you who haven't watched some of these. The first kind is just a building upgrade, it's a flat building upgrade. You just click it, it applies it, you only do it once. So for example, later in the video, we'll see refrigeration for the crematoriums. It's just a flat building upgrade. It doesn't change the cosmetic look. It's not an add-on in any way. It's just an upgrade to the building. Then there is like a modular, I guess, upgrade, and that's like the extension wing here, where you can place it anywhere on the edge of this building. So you can put it up over here, you can put it on the back side, you can put it on the side here. I definitely think that, as we'll see later, I think that these are intended to be on the left and right side of the building, but you can put them there, and then the other upgrade is, I think this is an ambulance depot, and as you see when they eventually place one of these, they have a fixed location in which they'll actually go, and it'll go right here. So there's some that have a fixed location, and you can only upgrade it probably once. Maybe in some buildings you can do it twice or a couple times, where they'll have fixed spots where you can add them, and then some of them are modular where you can place them anywhere on the building's edge. So something to think about. And basic healthcare for a small area, pick up patients with ambulances, help citizens in service area remain healthier. Can be upgraded with an ambulance depot and an extension wing, which we're seeing right now. We see the employees. A cool thing to think about now as well is that the storage, they actually need pharmaceuticals. So they need a resource in order to actually heal people. And that's the pharmaceuticals. And as you see, even when they place the extension wing, it doesn't change the pharmaceutical storage, or maybe it does change the storage and I wasn't paying enough attention, but it doesn't change the amount of pharmaceuticals, where it says 10 kilograms. That doesn't change.
These are
right. So it doesn't change the storage amount at all, and it doesn't change the actual pharmaceuticals amount either. So even though you're servicing more citizens, you're probably going to be using more pharmaceuticals, but your storage amount doesn't change. So I hope that's balanced properly, right? Obviously, I assume it would be, but just something to think about as well.
Operational extension.
And then we saw the medical wing right there. If I can go back, let's see. So that's the ambulance wing right here. Now you can see it's taking over the parking lot as well. If we go back a little further, it might show the highlight for it. No, it doesn't. This scene doesn't. It shows the extension wing, so we'll just move on.
You can
So it's going to probably show it right here, I think.
Answer the different needs of the city by...
So when you click on the medical clinic, so they're going to click on the ambulance depot right here. Space for several additional ambulances, adds 5 ambulances. And as you can see, it just places it right here. This is the only spot it can go. So they even highlighted it over here. Still forced it to go there.
Medical clinic, that it'll add more patient places.
And the reason that I said that I think these are kind of intended to go on the side, obviously you can place them on the back if you want. It's a modular building asset, but they don't perfectly line up on the back side here. We have a little bit of an overhang. So
a new ambulance garage and so on. We have updated the district tool for City Skylines 2. In City Skylines 1, the districts were painted using a paintbrush. In City Skylines 2, we have a much more accurate polygonal tool that you can use to shape and create districts.
Love it. So one thing to keep in mind as well is that there is 2 options for the district tool. There is the left one and the right one. The right one looks like a square, so I don't know if that's just build flats, rectangle, out And there you go. And then this one is the actual dot, so you can place dot by dot by dot. The difference is that this one also has a little speech bubble over it, and I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is. So, like, is there more to this left tool than just being able to be modular, or is there actually some other kind of utility to this left district tool? I don't know. I do hope that inevitably, obviously it doesn't seem like Move It's included in this game. I haven't seen any signs that like there is like a Move It-esque. Move It is a mod, for those of you who don't know. That's what a lot of detailers use to like kind of move and bend things, and how we were able to like kind of bend roads into weird shapes in Cities 1 using mods. It doesn't seem like that's in the game, but I do hope that like inevitably when a Move It-esque mod comes out, Cuboid, that we're able to maybe bend these angles to like actually really make these districts so they don't have like these flat lines, but we can actually have it curve along with the road. That's a really niche thing, and it's only just for like OCD purposes, but I still hope that we can maybe do that if inevitably that comes out. So obviously they're just bending, and so once you place them, you can also just drag any single one of those nodes. I'm assuming you can add nodes as well, so you can like kind of, you know, curve the district how you want it.
The brush tool was
obviously there's also snapping options for it too.
A bit inaccurate.
Yes,
we
it
heard
was
from
awful.
players that some people had some gray hairs trying to create the perfect district shapes.
Absolutely, especially when it snaps to roads.
So this time we're gonna give them the tools to create exactly what type of districts they want. One of my favorite district policies is the gated community policy, where you can
Okay, so in here we have all of the districts. So we have policies. This is the district policies tab. We looked at this in the dev diary, which is obviously linked down below if you guys want to take a look at the dev diary, which was full of stuff for city services. It was like over an hour long. So much stuff in that dev diary. But right here we have energy consumption awareness. Policy: citizens are advised to pay attention to the use of electric devices. Electricity consumption is reduced by 5%. And as we know previously, there is about, I think this is 7 district policies. And then there is another like 5 citywide policies. So not that many. I was expecting and hoping for more, but I'm not super disappointed. I don't use district policies that often. I usually would just turn on recreational use and what was the other one? The encourage biking every single time I made a city, and that was kind of it with districts, unless I like needed something really specific. So anyways, you can see the amount of residents in here. We have the amount of pets that are in here, the employees that are in here, right? And this is Pinewood Dale, which is this area on the right over here near my webcam. And then, we already know about the energy consumption awareness, so they just turned that on for this district. And if you notice, they don't have the overlays on the districts like they did in Cities 1, so like the little symbol would appear under it. Doesn't seem like we have those in Cities 2. So now they're going to go and click on Willow's End. And when we get into Willow's End, we can see that there's only about 2,000 residents, 1,800, and then we have 167 pets. Again, we still don't know details on like how important pets are. Obviously, they're including it in all this district info. That could just be like helpful info for us, or that could be a sign that maybe they're expanding on pets, and maybe we'll get a pets DLC or something like that, which would be very cool.
And if you want to keep the district like calm.
So now we have gated community. The only people living and working in this district are allowed in. This is really interesting. This increases the well-being of the residents and reduces the crime in the area. Does not affect city services, okay? Which is important. But they highlight over heavy traffic ban. Okay, so first off, roadside parking fee. In order to put the roadside parking where you park on the side of the road and you got to pay at a meter, you have to enable it in a policy. But we highlight over the heavy traffic ban, and this is the really interesting part. Trucks and other heavy vehicles are forbidden from entering the district. This is where it's different than Cities 1. This reduces noise and air pollution and can help traffic congestion. Highways remain unaffected. In Cities 1, it was just people trying to visit or go to businesses, and they were unaffected. Now it doesn't affect highways. So if you specifically place a highway road, it's not going to affect you. This is actually great, because there's a lot of situations where like I wanted to use the heavy traffic ban, but I couldn't because of how the policy worked. And maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe that's how it worked in Cities 1, but like I hope that we can expand on this maybe a little bit too, and like you can pick specific roads that this doesn't apply to, where like you can say, well, I want the main arterial road that runs through this district to like still have heavy traffic, but the rest of the local roads, no one's allowed to drive through those if they're not a passenger car, right? That's what I would like to see expanded on. That would be very cool if they just added that little option where you can click on a road name and then say like disable from policy or something. That would be very cool. I suggest it.
Control the area, keeping the riffraff away. That's basically what it is. In City Skylines 1, the land value was more directly affected by the city services and especially the parks. In City Skylines 2, the land value is affected.
Dude, I mean, just like look at these cinematic shots. I really, really, really hope we have a really good, like, customizable cinematic camera because they even allow them to do it in info view, which is very cool. I don't know, maybe they just have it like on a hotkey and it's just part of like their beta development build or something, but I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate like a really nice built-in cinematic camera of some kind.
Citizens and companies' willingness to move to an area and pay rent there. You can indirectly control the land value by placing services that those specific agents need at that moment, and that will in turn make them more willing to live in an area and pay higher rent, and that will then affect the land value itself. The road maintenance has a bigger role in City Skylines 2. This time the road condition doesn't only affect the speed of the traffic, but it also affects the likelihood of traffic accidents.
Boom, did you see that? Okay, let's go back just so you don't miss this accident.
Traffic, but it also
I'm gonna zoom in right now to like where it happens.
The likelihood of traffic accidents.
Boom!
Happening. So it's important.
Gosh darn it, Brooke Montoya, what are you doing? You're not paying attention, rear-ending someone. Now, granted, I don't know if this is the car that spun out, but as we know from previously them explaining traffic accidents, one car is randomly chosen to kind of spin out, and any vehicle that collides with it becomes part of the accident. So it could have been just Brooke that rear-ended this car that spun out. But you see, they're on their side now. They like kind of ragdolled, I guess, in terms of like car stuff. But watch this blue car.
Important
or
to
truck.
Have a
now it's on fire.
Road maintenance.
It doesn't feel safe going out at night with all this crime around. Yeah, all these bad drivers.
Fleet, so that they can keep the roads in condition. The road maintenance.
Whoa, what's going on the river here? Are those like trees that aren't rendered in, or are those people? What?
Vehicles have two different models. One for the summer, and then it switches to a snowplow during the winter.
Look at the vehicle assets look really great.
Citizen healthcare is an important part of your city to keep it functioning. The citizen happiness is dependent.
Okay, so we're gonna get some views of all of the buildings in the actual healthcare tab. So this is the hospital, provides healthcare for a large area and takes care of sick and injured citizens, keeps citizens in its service area healthier. Can be upgraded with medical helicopters, trauma center, and special ward. Obviously, service areas are a lot bigger because they don't want you placing as many service buildings in your cities now and more expanding the coverage. So that is one thing as well. And then we have upkeep right here. Patient capacity is 500. It's a lot. Ambulances, 30. And then cargo storage is 2.5 tons. So that's of pharmaceuticals. All right. So then we also have the medical clinic, which we've looked at before.
Their health as well.
There is one frame where it shows off. Now, this building is this building. I'm 100% positive that this third one is this building, which is a medical building. I don't know if we've actually seen which one it is yet. If it has, please let me know in the comments. If we haven't, I just know that it's a medical building. There is one frame that shows what this building is right here. Research Institute. This is why I like watching it before, because I can catch this stuff. Health and Research Institute. This facility that studies the way citizens can remain healthier and educates them in various ways, including lectures and outdoor challenges. Plus 10% park entertainment citywide and minus 10% disease infection risk citywide. So that's pretty cool. They'll actually place it. They've shown it off quite a few times already, but
well-being. So it's important to build enough healthcare
in your
city and provide them in the places that the citizens need it. The citizen deathcare, on the other hand, is something else.
Also, something I didn't notice until just this video, but when you hover over the icons down here, it does give a brief explanation of what each category is, which I think is nice for new players.
As with many other...
So now we're in Deathcare. At some point, every citizen's life comes to an end, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, cemetery. For some reason, I don't know why, but let me just read this. Find a resting place for deceased citizens. Cemeteries collect, transport dead in hearses, can be upgraded with a chapel, mausoleum, and columbarium. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of that. +3 well-being within 300 meters, and 3 indoor recreation. I don't know. Does that mean that it acts as a park when people go there? It has +3 recreation for it. I don't know, but just based on the phrasing, what that means yet. I would assume, because it doesn't say district or city, I'm assuming it's applying to just that building. Now that I'm saying this all out loud. When I first watched this, I thought maybe it meant district, but now that I see that it doesn't say district, that's probably what it is. But I find that very interesting that it also functions as a park, which is nice. Skylines. And then this is the crematorium. Cremates bodies of deceased citizens. The ashes do not take up space in the crematorium. Can be upgraded with a hearse, garage, in an additional incinerator, and an expanded refrigerator, which we talked about earlier. And here's the storage capacity, hearses, blah, blah, blah.
Also, the citizen death and Deathcare have been...
All right, so here's the refrigerator expansion. So then these are the different types of expansions that you can do. Now, I don't know what this middle one is yet, but as we saw the modular clinic expansion, right, which we could put wherever. We saw the fixed one, and then this one's just the upgrade. So if you haven't seen these before in previous dev diaries or insights, this is what this does. So you click on it. Doesn't change the building at all. It just upgrades it.
No longer have the classic death waves that we had in City Skylines 1.
Yes.
Unless there's an actual house collapsing, the hearses don't clock your streets.
Natural disasters DLC, baby.
Disaster, then you can...
One thing I guess I shouldn't say I'm a little disappointed. I mean, like, is it really that necessary? But when the buildings collapse and they fall towards another building, it would be cool if that building also fell and created a chain reaction throughout your city. I thought that would be cool. Obviously, it's not included. That's fine. But anyways, they pretty much collapse the same way they did in Cities 1. So unless they make changes to it before launch, and they just like import that animation or something into this game, that's pretty much how they'll collapse. The rubble looks relatively similar as well. You get more foundational structures still standing, and it's not just like I-beams sticking out of the ground, but...
Absolutely expect that there's going to be a lot of buzzing in the streets.
So no death waves. Well, they're claiming that there's not going to be death waves, which is good. Hopefully when people move in, they actually have a varied age range. Because in Cities 1, they all kind of move in as like young adults, basically. So if you build a ton of residential, everyone in that residential kind of die around the same time. And that's how you get death waves. And that's why you might be struggling with your death. So highly suggest using Life Cycle's Rebalanced mod if you are playing on Steam. This is really cool. This is the garbage dumps.
Management has also been improved.
I want you guys to pay attention to the next one. Obviously, you can see some cool things sticking up. You can see like little boxes and stuff sticking up out of the ground here. But I really want you guys to pay attention to this next scene that they cut to. This one. Watch the actual garbage piles themselves. So like you can watch pretty much anything in here. But as this vehicle drives around, watch. Notice how it went up. It moved. We can go back frame by frame so you guys can see it a little bit better. But it gets taller and taller incrementally, I believe. Look, it's changing. It's obviously a little taller now as garbage gets dropped off in it. That's my assumption. That's what it looks like. I'm going to say that that's probably what's going on. I think that's pretty cool.
We have now introduced a recycling option for the garbage, which...
So this is your garbage management screen. I don't know that we've seen this yet, but garbage processing status, landfill status.
Then produces some material.
So it did show the recycling center. I don't know if it shows it in a different, when they click on it a different way, but collects and sorts garbage to produce reusable materials, which are then sold further. This is exactly how the recycling centers function in Cities 1 with the Green Cities DLC, I think they came out in. This produces income for the city, can be upgraded with garbage truck depot, a hazardous waste collection point, and an extended storage. So we have upkeep here, processing, storage, garbage trucks, medium, low, air pollution, medium noise pollution. You guys see that it drops down here, and we'll have 2 rows if it fills up with too much stuff.
Materials that can be used in the industrial buildings in your...
Just like in Cities 1, when you place a building on a hill, it'll just chop it down. So the same weird edge sloping is the same in this. Here's the recycling center. As he's saying in the background, and I'm talking over him, when you process recycled stuff, it turns it into materials that your factories will use. So it's the same as in Cities 1 with the recycling center as well. There's the 3 expansion opportunities. The garbage truck depot enables center to maintain a much larger fleet of trucks and garbage collection. And you'll see it kind of come under my webcam. I'm not going to move my webcam for this, but you can see it come in this back parking lot here. And then there's the building.
We've also added a new feature to the landfill where you can actually create.
To everyone in the comments who was speculating that this is the pollution ring, this is very much confirmation that it was in fact what I said with this being the area that you can actually build the actual zone for the garbage dump. And the reason I didn't think that the last time was that any other time we've seen them place a building that pollutes, we have not seen the ring. That was the first time we saw the ring, and it was also the first time we saw them click on a building that has this modular zoning. So that's why I felt pretty confident that that's what that was in the dev diary, and that is what they are pretty much confirming right now as we watch the rest of this video, is that this ring is the area in which you can build out your zone. I do wish, again, that a Move It mod comes along or something where we can make those actually have rounded edges, so it's not like these lines kind of coming across. But I digress. Sends out garbage trucks to collect waste from the city and stores it in designated areas. Can be upgraded with garbage truck depot, hazardous waste collection, and waste recycling unit. Which is cool. You can actually waste recycle. So the landfills can actually recycle and process the waste that they have. I bet you it doesn't do it very fast, but that's really nice that that option is available at the dumps now as well. So the landfills don't just have to fill up. You can actually process your garbage at the landfills as well. So you don't have to build incinerators, basically. So you can see the processing speeds right here. Stored garbage is right here. Yeah, and as you can see,
for your landfill yourself.
They're just dragging it to the edge of that red zone. And I'm very confident that if it will not let you drag outside of that red zone. And maybe that red zone is also the pollution ring. It could be a by-use thing. It could be both of those, but it is definitely like where space, you can build that out too. But as you can see, when you drag this out, it's telling you can change the storage capacity. So the storage capacity is going to go to a larger number here, and it did. Which if we go back a couple frames, it's now at 1675. So, and as they expand this out, they wanted to make it even bigger. So anywho, we're now at the medical university. There is a specialized 3rd or 4th tier education. So there's not just university, there's medical university, and I think trade school as well. I don't know if trade school is lined up with the university tier or if it's in the college tier, but there is that. Medical university, academic schooling for medical professionals, provides the 4th level of education and increases the efficiency of healthcare service buildings. Can be upgraded with an extension wing, research facilities, and practice clinic. So, provides minus 25% recovery failures citywide. So, I'm guessing that when an ambulance goes somewhere, there's a chance they might not be able to save the citizen. That's my guess. So that reduces that by 25%. Hospital efficiency citywide, and then plus 5% health within 1 kilometer. So that's pretty nice. Tells you all the students, patients, pretty simple stuff.
As with many other systems, we have also improved education.
So here's the education view. We've seen this before, but here are the 6 buildings.
The game feature.
So there's the elementary school,
high school, college, university.
There's the university, a massive complex that offers education for academic-oriented citizens, provides a 4th level of education, can be upgraded with extension wing, library, and park. We've seen this in the first dev diary and insight and in the trailer. So
the medical university.
He says medical university first, but it's technical university next. Academic learning for technically oriented provides a 4th level. Okay, so it is 4th level. I thought it was trade school, but it's technical university. It's a tech school. And increases the efficiency of offices and industrial companies. Can be upgraded with an extension wing and workshop upgrade. Plus 10% in industrial efficiency citywide and plus 10% office efficiency citywide. So it does seem like these are kind of like milestone rewards here where it says requirements, milestone 2, small village, and progression node technical university. So you do have to unlock them in the tech trees down here in the bottom left, as we've seen in previous dev diaries, obviously. And then the medical university is similar.
And technical university.
Right here. Already built, but I'm assuming there's prerequisites for it as well. Right here is the college. This is the first step towards higher education for teens and adults alike. Provides third level of education, can be upgraded with an extension wing and library. Right here it says 1,000 students. They have an upgrade selected. We can't really see it. I think it's trying to render the building, and we paused it at the worst possible time because I don't know what the heck's going on the outside of this building. But let's unpause. Yep, there it is. So now it built out the edges. Wow, that's how that renders that in. Interesting. But as you can see, it's now bigger.
Also added a new level of education, and these education levels match the different demands for workplaces in your city. Fire and rescue has been also improved.
I like the new fires. I will say that. I like how they comes out of the side of the building.
Potential vehicle fire. They will also search and rescue people from collapsed buildings. The game
Postal
also features postal services and internet services. The citizens want to send mail to their loved ones or maybe an angry letter to the editor, and this improves their well-being. The city also can have internet service, which will also improve the quality of.
Before I let this kind of render through, let's take a look at this city and how it's kind of developed, and maybe we can take this time to kind of obviously look at it. We've seen parts of this city before. This is rectangular. This is Toadie's city that she made. As we know, all the cities that we're looking at in these Dev Diaries and Dev Insights, one made by $2.20, one made by Toadie's, and then we got a sneak peek at Biffa's in the Dev Diary, which I assumed to be Biffa's because it was named New Tealand. But in this one, we can see some of the stuff we've already seen, like the farm fields with the random buildings in the center of the fields that don't have service roads. That kind of annoyed me, but I digress. It's not that big a deal. We can kind of see how she developed this city, and it looks very good. I mean, she's got the highways kind of coming through here. She has the grid-based structure, all these roads, like just messing around with the road tools. I mean, it looks really nice. We can kind of see how much of everything there is, and there is a lot of residential, a lot of residential, and there is not that much commercial. So I wonder if they potentially rebalanced how and what the actual game needs in terms of commercial and industrial and offices as well, because there is a lot of residential in this and compared to like cities
of life for the citizens, and it will also affect positively the profit margins of the companies.
Yeah, as we know from the last Dev Diary, which we watched obviously on Monday, the telecom is a new industry or a new service that your citizens want. It makes them happier. It acts as a service, helps increase land value, and it also increases the productivity and profits of commercial buildings.
Watching the households, you can see the effect of the mail service.
This is a cool new thing.
Availability.
So when we hover over the happy symbol, it tells us what's making it happy and what's making it unhappy. Reliable mail service is +7. Abundance of entertainment +6. Reliable healthcare coverage +5. Spacious home +3 because different zoning types. Abundance of leisure time +1. Reliable internet service +1. So that does add a +1. -1 to high noise pollution and -1 to poor education services. So we can click on each building and it'll tell us exactly what they want, which is very cool. The average happiness of the household living in the building, and that happiness doesn't directly correlate to level as well. So that's, obviously it can help increase land value and stuff. But the average happiness of every household living in this building, citizen happiness is a combination of citizen health, well-being, and taking care of citizens' basic needs like healthcare increases the health, and providing them with education, leisure opportunities, and safety increases their well-being. Happy citizens also work efficiently and thus increase companies' efficiency as well. So pretty cool stuff. It's just really nice that they include that, I think. So let's move on.
And the internet service availability. If your city doesn't have.
This is really cool. This is our first look at the outside connections info view, where we can actually see what the imports and exports are. So we'll let that fill up fully. And we can see so top imports, 20% of our imports are convenience food, textiles. So we can actually see all the resources here. So let's go through them. So there's convenience food, textiles, rock, food, beverages, electronics, petrochemicals, software, pharmaceuticals, and vegetables. And those are our imports, right? Those are our top imports. And there's obviously a lot of resources here. Because these are just the ones we're importing, and these are just the ones that we're exporting, and they're like our top ones. They don't overlap at all because obviously you have imports and exports. I don't know if there's just 20 or if there's more. I don't see lumber anywhere on here, so obviously there is more than just what we're looking at. So there's a lot of resources now in this game, and obviously we don't have to micromanage them, which is nice. But I mean, pretty cool little details that they've added here. But we have all of that, and then we have financial, telecom, coal, media, concrete, steel, machinery, livestock, and minerals all being exported. So a lot of financial stuff here in Rectangle, and then they're exporting telecom services. I don't know how you export the telecom services. So telecom's like a resource that you're exporting, because there's also the telecom buildings that you place, telecommunication buildings, and they provide internet, but it's in like a range. Right? So like, are you importing your excess gigabits per second? Because they said that everything, like their towers are kind of based off of gigabits per second, and then each person takes like a chunk of that. So is it like, if there's excess, does that get exported? I'm curious how that works.
The different emergency.
But as we highlight over it, businesses import produce and products and resources that are not manufactured or produced locally. Importing costs make manufacturing products more expensive.
Services yet. The outside connections will.
Businesses export products and resources that are not high enough in demand in the city. The cost of transportation is deducted from company profits.
Provide your city with the various services. They send out police cars, ambulances, and so on. The only downside is that it will cost you slightly more compared to if you had the service.
One thing that bothers me about what we're looking at right now. Let me go back.
Is that it will cost you.
So let's watch this back through. They're stopped in the roundabout. Now, granted, it's an ambulance that comes through and kind of stops them, but the ambulance doesn't have siren lights on. So is it like a bug because it's early in development that the siren lights aren't being shown and that's why they're stopping? Or like they just stop for every ambulance and that's a bug because they're not like servicing, or like anytime they go out, like maybe the vehicles stop for them. But you know, in a realistic roundabout, you would not have people or vehicles kind of stopping in it for vehicles entering. So that makes me a little worried that roundabouts aren't going to function exactly how we expected them to. Are roundabouts broken already right off the bat? I hope not. But
or compared to if you had the service in your own.
Not a good look.
Own city.
I really hope that they're stopping just because it's a service vehicle, and they would not do this with any other vehicle. But anywho, we get another look here at the progression trees, but it's progression trees that we've already kind of looked at. But we'll go through them once again. Basic road services, roundabouts, advanced road services. It does look like you have to unlock roundabouts. A little unfortunate. Highways, large roads, parking areas, intersections, underground parking building, automated parking building. So parking has its own tree. With underground and automated parking. And then over here we have advanced road services, highways, large roads, intersections, Grand Bridge.
The administration category.
And we don't get a new look at anything else, so we just go back to the police administration tree. Kind of they just explain what police and administration like tree kind of is, because obviously it's new. We have the welfare office, city hall, and central bank.
An entirely new service category in City Skylines 2.
So City Hall is the center for different branches of local government, and more efficient bureaucracy lowers loan interest rates as well as the price of imported goods. And then they said central bank in the dev diary, which again talked about on Monday, that it decreases loan amounts and increases. I think it increases profits for businesses. I can't remember everything from that diary because it was so big, but
features City Hall.
Central bank houses. This is what it does. Houses stock and resource traders as well as financial advisors and loan officers. The service working together lowers loan interest and reduces the price of imported resources. That's what it is. Imports and export profits go up, and then the loan interest goes down. So both of those buildings help you with loans, and then imports and exports profits for the central bank.
Central bank and welfare office. Welfare offices help citizens with low well-being.
So citizen well-being right here. See how it says bad. Obviously, everyone in this area has good well-being based on the fact that they're all green buildings. But
City Hall and Central
still
Bank
benefit.
provide the city with various.
So this is City Hall, Center for, yeah, and as we know, minus 1% loan interest rates. So you can get a maximum, I guess, of 3% loan interest rates removed, which is pretty good. And then import costs
Citywide bonuses
are decreased. Police headquarters, it looks like we've upgraded the helicopters, so now we have a helicopter depot. This is that one medical building.
I can be more happy. Yeah, I can definitely be, because I'm like way too serious. Next week we're going to have electricity and water, and that was that.
That was that. All right. That was a Dev Insight. There's a lot in this one. Every Thursday I get a little scared that we're not gonna have anything new to talk about, and then I end up going on for 40 minutes on a 7-minute video. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't checked out my new website, it's just kodiakthekodiak.com. We got merch. You guys can check out all my YouTube videos there and my TikToks. If you guys are looking to pre-order City Skylines, you guys can do that down below using my Humble Bundle links. It'll give you a Steam code, so you guys can still get the game on Steam. If the Steam Workshop's still around, you guys can still take advantage of that. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because we have new video coming out this weekend. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys on Monday. Deuces!